Okay, now let's lighten this up a little bit and watch this dude cry, tears of crying about Zelensky's interaction with Trump. Okay, like, I'm not saying that this whole thing with Trump and Zelensky was a great thing, but this is insanity, dude. What channel are these people watching? Yeah, you're definitely going to want to stick around after the CNN story for sure. Well, guys, welcome back to the genesis of the new direction of the Jesse on Fire channel, which was the Trump assassination attempt in Butler, Pennsylvania. And now we are back to the world where people are just ignoring the most obvious things ever and then gaslighting us about it on mainstream media. I mean, it's unbelievable. Okay, like Rogan and Elon Musk, okay, just to give you some context about what we're talking about. Rogan and Elon Musk discussed the very bizarre details around the Trump assassination attempt, specifically the fact that CNN was live streaming that particular Trump rally. The first one they've ever live streamed. Ever. Okay? Ever. And it's not because they're not interested. It's because they had an absolute moratorium on giving Trump any airtime whatsoever. Okay, so I'm jumping ahead. Very first time that CNN ever live streamed it, right? And they're saying like, hey, you also remember that Thomas Crooks, his entire house had been like vaporized of anything that could appear to be like a real home that has people's fingerprints in them, or I don't know, silverware in it and things like that. Anything that would even make it moderately believable that this is just some random kid lone shooter. Okay. So the main thing though is CNN is coming out and vehemently pushing back on this insane conspiracy theory. It's just insanity. Why would they think this? Okay. Look at this, right? CNN refutes the Elon Musk and Rogan conspiracy theory that the network may have been tipped off to the Trump assassination attempt. Okay. I mean, listen, I don't know if they were or they weren't. Okay. I have no idea. What I'm telling you is that as I show you this coverage of what they said, the behavior of these people, you're like, guys, okay, I'm not saying I know for sure that CNN did that. I'm saying that if you combine all of these things and look, it's suspicious. That's all. It's suspicious. I don't like people who pretend that they know for sure things that they can't know for sure. But I like even less people who act like people asking common sense questions in response to extraordinarily suspicious behavior, like acting like they're crazy for asking the questions. That I can't stand. That's the definition of gaslighting, unless they're completely stupid, which is totally possible. Okay. So let's watch this clip real quick, and then I'll tell you some other things. Actually, I'll start you off with one major thing that for whatever reason they don't seem to be bringing up, is that you want to know how many rallies that Trump had ever, where they had a Secret Service sniper there, like a Secret Service sniper? 0. This is the very first one. So just so I understand, okay, there had never once been a sniper on the Trump side prior to this one. CNN had never once streamed a Trump rally. There's some massive short sale of Trump's stock from a firm whose main contributors are the definition of the leadership of the deep state, including George Soros. Okay. And it just so happens that at that event, the guy takes a shot at Trump, and then lo and behold, the one and only Secret Service counter sniper shoots him in the face, so he can't say why he was there, who put him there whatsoever. Not to mention all of the, fundamental failings of the security detail there to where they were able to get a shot off. Okay. Like, weird. Wait, why was the A team not with Trump that week? Is because Jill Biden happened to have a rally in the same state during just a scheduling, oops. I mean, it's a lot of stuff to look at and go, are you sure? So let's listen to them talk about it. And then I'm going to show you what CNN said. And then I'm going to show you how this guy on the Hill is covering this, which is ludicrous. It's like hilarious. You're like, what is wrong with you, dude?
Why did that guy?
Oh, by the way, go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, because guess what? Okay? I am very much trying to grow this side of my channel, and it's very rare for new people to see anything that I do covering Trump, at least at this point. So if you could subscribe to the channel, you will be suggested my content. If you don't subscribe, you will not be. I don't know how you got here if you're not subscribed, because normally you wouldn't see it. But if you're new, definitely subscribe to the channel, ring the bell, and tell your friends. And post it on social media if you want to help me out.
Try to kill Trump and almost succeeded. Why did he do that?
Well, I'd like to know that.
Well, yeah, but
That one's crazy. You know the whole deal with that guy's house, professionally scrubbed, no footprint on the internet, no social media footprint.
yeah, there's 0% chance that he has no social media footprint.
He was in a BlackRock commercial. With this kid, we don't know anything, right? And everyone stopped asking questions, and there was never a formal report. There was never press conferences where they detailed all the information that we know currently and where the investigation stands at the moment. What we know is you have a very young kid who was filmed. They knew he was there with a rangefinder a half an hour before the event.
Elon Musk sat down with Joe Rogan on his podcast on Friday. The duo were also suspicious of why CNN had live streamed that particular rally. Let's watch what they said.
You also know that CNN streamed it live, which I do not believe they did for any other rally.
They didn't.
And certainly not for a rally that's in the middle of nowhere in Pennsylvania. Like, there's a lot of weird. The fact that they wouldn't let people be on that roof because the Secret Service lady said it was sloped and it was dangerous. That's what she didn't want to have. Meanwhile, the snipers that were on the other roof was a steeper pitch. It made no sense.
I totally agree. It makes no sense.
Many on the right.
Yeah. No sense at all. Okay, so here's some of the response that you get. MJ Truth Ultra says, Rogue. Okay, so CNN stream. Okay, I'm sorry. With this, we just heard them say. All right. And then, but you have Bill Ackerman, who says, what are the chances CNN was tipped off to stream the Butler rally? Why isn't this worthy of investigation? It shouldn't be too hard to figure out who orders the coverage and why. Is that a very controversial opinion? Oh, it was the very first time that you streamed one, and we know that there's this gigantic conspiracy against Trump. Like, is it worth maybe just checking out whether or not someone tipped them off and whether this was a conspiracy to try to murder the current president? Is that important? Like, should we just at least look into it? Maybe, right? Should we look into it? Is that a crazy thing to ask? Should we just at least find out why that was the one that they streamed? Okay. And then you get this, right? Listen to this, dude.
Correctly, in my view, we'll get to it in a second, that Rogan and Musk are ginning up a false conspiracy. CNN Communications replied to several of these X accounts. CNN provided live coverage of President Trump's Butler, Pennsylvania rally in anticipation of news about his pick for vice president. Any suggestion contrary to that fact is completely false.
Now, if that doesn't make you way more suspicious of whether or not this was some kind of thing that I don't know what does. Yeah, right. Oh, CNN is going to cover this entire Trump rally because maybe he's going to announce his VP. Yeah, right. Okay. Do you guys understand that they had a mandate to never allow people to see a full, thing of Trump speaking? Because that's what they do. They take what he says, they take it out of context, and then they make him look as terrible as possible. Why would they ever platform Trump in the middle of the campaign and give him a long-form ability to reach their viewers and potentially flip them and go, man, he's not even that bad? It doesn't even make sense. If he announces his VP pick, then you go live then. I mean, I assume then that you have some kind of proof of that's what you were doing. I mean, that's just a weird answer, dude. Okay. Did you have Fox News at streaming Kamala Harris, rallies because they're like, oh, she might, hey, she's going to announce who her running mate is, so let's stream this whole thing. That's weird.
Bill Ackman, man, is that guy just like the world's dumbest billionaire? I mean, he just comes out with these ludicrous claims all the time. There isn't any nefariousness to why CNN were streaming that rally.
How would you know that? How the fuck would you know that, dude? You know what I mean? Like, how would you possibly know that? This is what I'm talking about. Like, shut up, guy. You don't have any idea what you're talking about. Okay? You want to know how I know I'm smarter than you? Is because when someone goes, oh, what? So you're saying that there was a nefarious intent over at CNN? I'd be like, I don't know. How would I know? I'm saying this is suspicious. You're like, there's no nefarious intent. Oh, really? Do you work at CNN? Were you in the room when the president of the company or whoever made that call? Do you know who called them right before? Do you have any idea what the fuck are you talking about? You're a talking head on the Hill. You think you have impervious judgment, or you have some kind of special insight into what George Soros is doing or Dick Cheney? You don't know anything. You're too dumb to realize that you don't know anything. If you think that this is a reason you could sit there and say something like that, like they weren't, how could you possibly be certain about that? It's absurd.
Which was that there was indeed speculation. Some thought that J.D. Vance might be there. This was going to be the time when Trump unveiled his running mate. The idea.
Hey, did CNN live stream Trump's rally that was at Madison Square Garden? Did they live stream any others? Any others? I mean, honestly, did they ever live stream another Trump rally? Ever?
That CNN would get, which is what Ackman is implying, have some kind of heads up that there's going to be an attempt to shoot the then candidate, now president of the United States, and that for that reason alone they would tune in. It's just...
I think that's pretty unlikely.
it's like just the most absurd thing.
Yeah,
how does Bill Ackman get to be a billionaire? Well, he's so dumb.
Is it though? Is it really at this point? Really, it's that like breaks your brain that that's even possible. What world do these people live in? What movie have you been watching? Seriously, they were trying to put him in prison for nothing. They convicted him of 34 felonies in New York because his attorney billed his campaign for a payoff that he made to a porn star to keep her quiet so she didn't talk about an affair that he had, which the only reason he would have cared about is because he's running for president. 34 felonies because he paid for that out of the campaign. $100,000. He's a billionaire. $100,000. 34 felonies. Oh, okay, because there's no conspiracy to get Trump. Okay, you obviously have a conspiracy to get the guy. And so it's just out of the realm of possibility that maybe someone tipped off CNN so that they could catch a video of the event and make it as dramatic as possible for everyone in the world and be like, he's dead and gone. I personally think that if, keyword here, if they were tipped off, the reason that they were doing it is they wanted it to be visual. They wanted the populist movement that is the Trump, whatever, to see it. Like, he's gone, dude. That's the end of your guy. So now fall in line. Fall in line, okay? This thing that you guys are doing is over. Now, this brings me to the second part of this video that I am going to talk about here. So that brings us to the fun part of the video. All right. So we're going to watch this clip that Rogan posted. He actually reshared Libs of TikTok. And he says, more squats at elk meat, less of this. And I was like, oh, I got to know. What is it? And so this post is a grown man cries actual tears because Zelensky was kicked out of the White House. Quote, I just want to be next to Zelensky right now. Yep. So let's go ahead and take a look at this.
I don't give a fuck what he wears. This man has been respectful to every leader in the world. Everybody. And you clowns want to fucking do that shit to him when he comes over here. And then talk to him like shit and kick him out of the White House. You fucking disgraceful son of a bitches. Man, I just want to be next to Zelensky right now. I wish I could talk to him.
I think he probably doesn't want to talk to you, dude.
forgive us. God damn, man. I can't. Sorry, y'all. I can't believe what I just witnessed in our White House.
Like, this dude filmed that and was like, you know what? I'm posting that. That's a winner right there. I am definitely going to go ahead and post that because there's nothing embarrassing about what is going on there. It's unreal, dude. And then you got this one too, okay? So here's another good one from this episode that I just feel obligated to show you guys, you know? It's just one of those things, dude. Another Joe Rogan podcast that is going viral. Here is what the world's richest man said about the Nazi salute. The Nazi salute, still. So billionaire Elon Musk stirred up a whirlwind of controversy earlier this year after a hand gesture he made at the U.S. President Donald Trump's inauguration celebration was likened to a Nazi salute. He did that to troll you guys 1,000%. That gesture went viral, and Musk responded to the backlash during an appearance of the Joe Rogan Experience podcast, which was released on February 28th. Elon Musk's reaction to the backlash. In an interview, Musk just addressed the uproar, admitting that he did not see it coming. Yeah, right. As quoted in the report, he explained how his phrasing when he said not and see together sounded unintentionally like the word Nazi, reported people. Wait, what? Did not see it coming. Oh. Did not see it coming. That's funny. According to the People's report, Musk acknowledged the reaction and referred to Nazi propagandist Joseph Goebbels, remarking that the people will Goebbels anything. Goebbels anything. Echoing a point he had previously made in a post on X. In his defense, Musk maintained that the gesture was meant in a positive spirit and that it wasn't intended to carry any political or negative connotations, reported People. Podcast host Joe Rogan pointed out that similar hand gestures often made with good intentions are frequently seen in public. You did it with a little enthusiasm, probably be recommended with hindsight. Clarifying the intent, Musk then shared a clip of the interview on X. Hopefully people can realize I'm not a Nazi. What is bad about Nazis is it wasn't their fashion sense or their mannerisms. Exactly. It was the war and genocide, not the mannerisms and their dress code. Thank you, dude. Okay? Thank you. That's why these kinds of things just make my brain bleed, like even thinking about it. They're so stupid. The ADL also weighed in on the controversy, acknowledging that Musk's gesture was awkward, but likely made out of enthusiasm, as per People report. Oh, so the ADL's giving him a pass, dude. Guys. Well, that's because he's, well, I mean, come on. The Jewish rights group wrote on X that it seems that Elon Musk made an awkward gesture in a moment of enthusiasm, not a Nazi salute. But again, we appreciate that people are on edge, as quoted people. You know what's hilarious about this, though? You know what is really funny about this? It's like, so you want to know who are the people? You want to know who are the people who are constantly promoting these, like, oh, he did a Hitler Nazi salute? Are the exact same people who are like, oh my God, Israel is the devil. They're the devil. And you're like, well, I mean, I don't want to like conflate two separate issues, but I just am going to point out, like, do you like, you know, I hear a lot of you guys saying that you should just eradicate Israel. I mean, I'm just saying, seems like the guy who really tried to do that, you guys seem to think is evil. So does that mean you're evil? I'm just saying. I'm just kidding. Those two things have nothing to do with each other. I'm literally just doing what they do, which is conflate dumb things that have nothing to do with each other. But, you know, just another example of just dumb shit, you know, just more dumb shit. Just more absolutely dumb shit. So, did Joe Rogan defend Musk's gesture? Yes. Rogan pointed out that similar gestures have been... I mean, dude, what is this, dude? Like, what is the world now? Let's just at random scroll through this. Okay, here we go. So, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, Social Security remark rebuked... so billionaire Elon Musk called Social Security the biggest Ponzi scheme of all time. It is. During an interview with podcaster Joe Rogan, Social Security federal program, like, it is that, though. That doesn't mean that it's not like a good idea, a good concept, whatever. It's like the way it has been implemented is it's this gigantic Ponzi scheme. Have you guys actually looked at the numbers of what the federal government is going to owe in Social Security payments in like a handful of years? It's impossible. It can't be done. That's the biggest looming bankruptcy threat to the United States and has been forever. I'm not saying we need to cut off Social Security. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying, like, you know. And also finding out that we had however many millions of people still getting Social Security when they're like 160 years old. I mean, come on, guys. Seems like it's reasonable to ask some questions. And then this one, look, like Girl Scouts hit back after Joe Rogan calls their cookies toxic. They are. Girl Scouts of USA said the levels of metals and herbicide in its cookies do not pose a food safety concern to customers following claims from a study that wasn't peer reviewed. Oh, hey guys, don't worry, okay? The herbicide and metals that were found in the Girl Scout cookies are not dangerous, says the Girl Scouts. You know? I mean, let's not get crazy, you guys. Give me a break. They're refuting the recent claim that the cookies are toxic. Rogan cited a flawed study. I love that. By moms. Hey, why was it flawed? Here, let's see. Why is it flawed? Okay, so Moms Across America. Okay, so summary. 100% of the cookies contained at least 4 out of 5 heavy and toxic metals: aluminum, arsenic, cadmium, lead, and mercury in the cookies. The highest levels of lead at 42.5 ppb and aluminum. There's no safe amount of lead. 76% of the cookies tested positive for levels of cadmium that exceeded EPA limits in water, and 96% of the cookies contained lead. There is no safe level of lead. I mean, hello, right? How is it flawed? All Girl Scout cookies are produced by our trusted licensed bakers who are leaders in their industry and adhere to rigorous food safety standards set by the FDA and other relevant authorities. When you buy Girl Scout cookies, proceeds stay local. Every purchase of Girl Scout cookies supports troops in their community. That's not a question. That's not a question. Okay? I'm not saying that like Girl Scout cookies are bad conceptually. We're saying they found lead in them. That's not good. You want to know how I knew about that? It's because I bought Girl Scout cookies from my niece. And when they got here, Gabrielle's all, you can't let the kids eat those. There's lead in them. I'm like, what? So I looked it up and I'm like, oh, shit, it's true. It's true. Anyway, whatever. We've been talking long enough, man. Anyway, a very eventful episode from Elon and Rogan.